Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your host, and this is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. And this time, well, this is still in Spooktober, the spooky month of October, and from this cover, I would guess this fits in. But I'm not so sure on. Well, in a way, the story does as well. So, but it's not your regular stuff. And this is from 2002, The Rapture from Acid Colors Comics. This is number 3, and I'm not sure what to make of this. Until I found this, I had never heard of either Acid Colors nor this title. And looking online, I could find almost nothing about it. As far as I can tell, this was all that they had Acid Colors published, and I could find some little issues 1 and 2 and 3, mostly 3. So I presume this is the one that was out there before. I couldn't find anything after 3, so it may have just wound up being 3 issues that were published. And it's, as I said, it's 2002. Nice cover painting, very well, kind of very reminiscent of Darkness from not Labyrinth. What was the other one? Tom Cruise's first movie. What was the name of it? I suddenly can't think of it. And a little bit of Hellboy in there. But it was created by Matt Brown, who's the writer, and Robert Ryan, who's the artist. They give a little brief synopsis of what has come before. I'll tell you this much: the main character, who is James, he is, and they'll give you some of the background in here. Raised by some strange religious cult that is gaining popularity. It's supposed to be some up-and-coming mega church type thing, but he was groomed for something, and I guess there are others around the world as well. And he realized it was a cult, and rejected it, and he ran away, and now their agents of the cult are after him. And he's got this cool Cadillac, and along the way he picks up a young lady named Doc, and then things happen. Previously, the agents of the cult have caught up with him, and he's fighting them in a gas station, which blows up. Doc is safe outside, but the whole gas station explodes in a fiery explosion, and it seems he is dead. But what is this? Is this really happening? That he is coming back together again, healing? We don't know. Then a little, because you can't tell what's in his mind and what's not sometimes. But he comes stumbling out of the flames, almost, even though he's got bits of flame from him, he's almost completely unhurt. And Doc goes to check on him and help him up, and they go to a nearby looks like an irrigation ditch of some kind, and they're talking about, she patches him up from the one small injury that he does have from that explosion. She doesn't understand. He doesn't understand either. He's trying to explain. Then we get the flashback in his mind. It says, Don't go, James. Don't know if this was something that really happened to him, and I don't think he's sure either, or whether this is just something in his mind. This is at the church when he was decided to leave. And there he is, and see his eyes turning, if you can see it, their eyes turning golden yellow. And then these demons come out and attack him, and then he fights back, and in the process, he is transforming into a demon himself as he is fighting and killing. It makes more sense reading it than it did when I first looked at it. Because then you realize that this is what he is seeing and perceiving. But he's killing these guys. Then suddenly he sees something about James Cormorant, that's him, happily earned his way to hell. And then suddenly he's back to himself. We know it's him because he's got this mark on his chest as the demon and as himself. And then he looks around and he sees it was the acolytes from the cult that he had been fighting and apparently killed them all. He takes off and leaves a note for his mother and takes off in a cool Cadillac, and that's the end of that. Because just prior to after that is when he met Doc. Now here we have the big wigs in the church being stopped for by reporters for a moment. Then they're in the car and they're talking about finding James, and they have on this list of and it says here something about, come on, focus. There we go. Members of the conduit, whatever that is, and James's name is on there. And then they have a list of alternates, and they're scratching out names of some of the alternates. Oh. So what is that going on? No, what's going on? They go to a nearby bar, they get something to drink, and try to relax a little bit. Now, the artwork is fine. I'm not thrilled with the inking job, the ink line, really. But the draftsmanship is fine, and his computer coloring. This is both of them, very nice faces done here. And I suspect that was from a photo reference. Looks like it's probably from a model. I have recognized the image, but I can't place it. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. Now, there are then some guys outside. There's the car, yep. And they're here, so she has to go to the little girl's room. And in the process, somebody catches and stops her. Then the big goons come up to James, and they pick him up and try to haul him out, and they don't understand what he's talking about. It says, "Look, I don't intend to run like that. It's okay. I'll go back with you. Just leave the girl alone." And he says, "Huh? Wait, the girl isn't part of this. She knows nothing." Turns out they're after him because of the girl. They're not the cult members. They get out some bats and stuff, and they're start to wail on him, and then his anger takes over. He's wailing, knocking him silly, and his eyes go yellow again. Ooh. It's almost like he's about to Hulk out. Meanwhile, the guy who was taking the girl, turns out it's her ex-boyfriend and his friends who've come to get her and to supposedly teach him a lesson because they think there's something going on. And well, she takes care of him herself pretty good. And they get the keys and get back in the car and take off, and throwing his keys in the drink. So then the scene changes to Rio de Janeiro, and this happens to be one of the names that they had crossed out in Rio. Javier, the guy's name is Javier, and they're waiting for a bus. Someone's following him. And they trying to get back home, and then the guy thinks he's being mugged because there's this goon with a gun and a silencer. He says, "This isn't a robbery, Javier. It's a murder," and blows his brains out. Javier! And then he goes, "For I have none to give," and says, May God have mercy on you, Javier, for I have none to give. And that's the end. So we still don't know what's going on. It does say next issue, what's that, in 4. I don't know if they ever published an issue 4 or not. This is the only issue I've ever seen. It's I tell you, it's not bad for what the little snippet that I caught here. It's not outrageously good or anything like that. The art could use some work, primarily the ink line work, and sometimes more detail in the backgrounds. But it works fine, and it's better than I thought it was going to be when I first thumbed through it. But I sure wouldn't go out looking for the other parts. So that is all I had to share with you this time. But this is a great cover, though. That's what got me, was the cover. And that's probably what got anybody else, too, was this great cover. So thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe. Do leave a comment down below. Are you familiar with the Rapture? No, not that Rapture. This Rapture. And are you familiar with acid colors or anything like that? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, comics are art.